Good morning, everyone. Quick survey before we get started. How many of you, raise your hand if you've been distracted by something negative? All right, nice, 100%. All right, how many of you have ever been distracted by something negative that took you away from something important? All right, this is significant research here. How many of you have been distracted by something negative that took you away from something important every day the last 52 years? I'm embarrassed to have my hand up, but it's true. We're fighting a battle every day, this battle against negativity. Research at the University of Chicago finds that the negative bias of this generation is contagious and has a worldwide implication. Really? It's kind of scary. Time magazine said, "We're a nation of finger pointers. We have gone from the American dream of striving and fulfillment to the dream of unfulfilled entitlement." That's a little insulting. Over 500,000 people were involved in Dr. Seligman's research on pessimism. Pessimistic people don't set goals, they have worse physical health, they achieve less, they make less money, their relationships decline, divorce increases, and they're depressed much more often. I'm depressed reading this. Speaking of depression, it's said that we have moved from the Depression, the Great Depression, to the Great Clinical Depression. People were happier when they had less money. Dr. Sherry Carter's research states that negativity is an addiction. Can you believe people are jonesing over addiction? I gotta have it. That's kind of crazy. The New York Times said the millennial generation is the entitled generation. Left brain research says we have conditioned our minds to store more and seek for more negative information than positive. You know, this epidemic, this contagious trend, even this addiction to negativity is not worthy of our dreams. You see, we're being distracted by the illusions of negativity today that take us away from what's important every day. A good example of this is the news. We all know what's going to be on the 10 o'clock news tonight. There's going to be crime, catastrophe. There's going to be wars and death. It's going to be on every radio station and every channel and every headline. The number one selling headline of the New York Daily News read, "Headless woman found in topless bar." That's not funny. This is what we're immersing ourselves in today. It's amazing to me that the headlines, look at the headlines here. We've got arrests, we've got death, we've got car crashes. I went through this whole paper looking for something positive, and not one thing is worthy of our dreams. Now, we've got to be careful. We've got to be careful because if we immerse ourselves in this negativity, it's going to be addictive. And if this stuff is taking us away from our dreams and our goals, man, those dreams and goals disappear like a cheap magic trick. And those negative stories, they keep coming back over and over and over. Worthy of our dream? Now, come on. Copperfield and Houdini would be impressed with that. Thank you. Now, magicians, they take us away from what's real. They lie to us, they deceive us. In the name of entertainment, it's all good. It's fun, it's mystical. But when the negative illusions take us away from what's important, it becomes life-altering. I grew up in the Chicagoland area. I lived in 7 different states growing up as a kid. I struggled with that readjustment. I had low self-esteem, learning disabilities, and I started hanging around the wrong group. And I ended up in a residential youth program called Job Corps with 200 other young men at risk, full of illusion, just like myself. The first week I was there, my counselor, Rose, she sat me down in her office and she said, "How are things going?" I said, "This place sucks. I hate it here." She goes, "What was it like before?" I said, "It sucked there. Why do you think I'm here?" She said, "Okay, it sucked there. It sucks here. I'm going to make a prediction. Wherever you go next, it's going to suck there too." I said, "How do you know that?" She leaned in and said, "You're going to be there." "You suck for saying that. You're a counselor. You should be making me feel better about my life." She said, "I'm not trying to make you mad." She said, "I'm just trying to help you understand that perception becomes reality." She handed me one of these, a journal, a notebook. She said, I want you to write down those negative things. Next time we get together, we're going to talk. So I went back to my dorm. Gentlemen, please quiet down. I'm about to make an entry into my diary. That's not how it went. I threw it into my locker like everyone else, and when I saw Rose again, she said, go get your journal. And I said, I'm not going to let you read those innermost feelings and thoughts. Those are private. She said, you're not writing in it. Go get it. So the next half hour, this sucks. I can't believe I'm writing in a journal. This is for girls. But over the next 12 months, I was able to capture ideas, dreams, goals, insights, progress. Rose came up to me and said, you're going to college. We're going to offer you a scholarship to Weber State University in Ogden, Utah. She said, Tim, this is an education that's going to be important in your future. So I packed my journal, and I headed off to Weber State. My first year was developmental courses, just to get caught up with everyone else. But I worked hard. I found a good job. I met a beautiful girl who later became my wife. I finished my bachelor's degree, was promoted in my job, accepted to graduate school, started a family with 3 beautiful children, bought a home, became a partner in the business. And over the next 25 years, many dreams became a reality. Now, what I'm not telling you is the challenges and the setbacks and the many, many failures. But even those failures became worthy of my dreams. Worthy of your dreams. It starts with the core question, is it worthy of your dreams? You see, that's what this journal did. It was able to answer that question every day. I wrote my dreams down, my goals down. Dominican University has empirical evidence that says that if you write your goals down, you have a better chance of reaching it. I know this to be true, not because of research, because I filled out 2 pages of goals and dreams that have all become realities. I was able to capture insight and information. All successful people immerse themselves in reading and questions, education, networks, mastermind groups, associations. They've committed themselves to continuous learning, and they'll inherit the future. But one of the greatest things this journal did for me was it was able to capture incremental progress. It's a progressive realization, knowing that I did something today worthy of my dreams. A little further today than I was yesterday, a little further tomorrow than I am today. These three things that the journal was able to capture answered the question, is it worthy of your dreams? The hero's journey is never complete until they give back what they've been given. And today I have the privilege to teach at Weber State University. I've assigned literally thousands of assignments and projects to students, requiring them to set goals, specific and measurable, to go out and find information, research, create ideas and research, and record their efforts daily in these journals so that they can see their progress. Not one of these projects have ever come back unsuccessful. One of those students was Chantel Richardson. She came to my office one day and knocked on the door, and I was at my computer, and she said, Mr. Border, can I talk to you? I said, sure. She says, I'm going to have to quit your class. Well, I spun around and said, have to? You're going to? You want to, but have to? Lecture 23 from her professor, and she says, I have cancer, and I start my chemo this week. Well, I was embarrassed. I could only say I'm sorry. And over the next half hour, we talked about what was going on in her life. I looked in the grade book. She was getting high A's, passing all the exams, doing great on the assignments. I said, Chantel, you do not have to quit my class. You've got an A. Your next assignment's before you right now. I just want you to check in from time to time. The next time I saw Chantel in my office, she had a book by Dr. Deepak Chopra, who's done a lot of research on cancer. She had her finger held in a spot in the book. She said, read this. It was about a roller coaster ride. 2 people in that front car going down the big hill. One's arms in the air. Yeah, I love this. This is exciting. And the other one white-knuckling on the bar. No, we're all going to die. It's the exact same stimulus. One's creating white blood cells and the other destroying. And Chantel said, I have to find a way to have fun at this. The next time I saw her, she had another book by Dr. Norman Cousins, who overcame cancer with attitude and nutrition, and I saw her plan. And the last time I saw her in my office, she brought another book with her. This one was called Whatever It Takes, A Journey into the Heart of Human Achievement. She said, I want you to have this. Inside it said, Dear Mr. Border, we cannot tell what may happen to us in this strange medley of life, but we can decide what happens in us, how we take it, what we do with it, and that's what really counts in the end. Thanks for helping me win this battle. I looked up at Chantel. She had a tear in her eye, and I said, what's going on? And she said, they can't find the cancer. I'm in remission. You see, Chantel didn't let the illusions of her situation take her away from her dreams. She completed her degree. She went on to become a DJ at a radio station. I had the chance to see her at her wedding. She looked beautiful in her wedding dress and married her sweetheart. She started a family. She became an entrepreneur. She went on to run in the San Diego Marathon for cancer. You see, Chantel never stopped living worthy of your dreams. Another one of my students was Damian Lillard, drafted number 4 in the 2012 NBA draft. Invited to the All-Star break where he won the skills competition, the best of the best, and was awarded the Rookie of the Year honors. This year, he was voted in as an All-Star, again repeated the skills competition champion, and he continues to set records worthy of his dreams. But when he was a student in my class, I remember he was on his phone one day. I went back and I said, what's going on? And he says, I'm taking notes. All of his notes were on his phone. And many times he was gone on games, and sometimes weeks at a time, and he would always come back, never entitled, never asking for exception, always working hard. Sometimes we'd work on the weekends, and we're in my office and working on projects and presentations. But this is what kind of a student he was, just as important as his basketball. He broke his foot his sophomore year. He was sidelined, but I watched his character rise. He learned more about basketball in the year he couldn't get on the court than most people do in a lifetime. He came back with extreme amounts of effort and became even stronger the next year. But the critics were there. Oh, his skills won't transfer. You know, he hasn't been tested. He's coming from a small school. He'll be looked over. But he proved them wrong. He broke through the illusions. He knew what he wanted. He was coachable. He learned how to get there. But more importantly, he did things every day worthy of his dreams, something measurable every day. It's not just these two stories. It's your story. It's your story. It's your battle against the illusions that are taking you away from what's important. What are you doing to answer that question? The core question. Is it worthy of my dreams? Do you write your goals down and put them on your mirror? Are you a member of a mastermind group? Are you enrolled in school? Are you reading a book? Do you write in a journal? I have a 30-day challenge. It's going to cost you $1, but it's a money-back guarantee. For the next 30 days, I want you to start your entry with, what I did today worthy of my dreams. And I don't care what the dream is. It could be financial. It could be your health. It could be your spirituality. It could be your relationships. I don't care what the dream is. For 30 days, what I did today worthy of my dream. And here's my promise. At the end of the 30 days, you will have accelerated the speed in which that dream becomes a reality. Now, my friends, go and expose the illusions that are distracting you away from what's important. And create the magic by doing something today worthy of your dreams. Before I sit down, I'd like to introduce you to a friend. Chantel, would you come up here? Ladies and gentlemen, my friend Chantel, still living worthy of her dreams. Thank you.
Thanks.